came and sat down under that now very famous Bodhi tree. Years, actually 4 years he was a samana. And people around him, he had gathered about 5 disciples, I think. And they saw he's in some state, exuberant state, and they could see the light on his face. When he saw this, he was fully enlightened and the moon was shining. Then they were waiting for him to open his eyes and give the teaching. He opened his eyes, looked at them, smiled and said, so when Gautama came, it was post-Patanjali, but still there were many things. So he went from school to school. He pursued 8 different forms of samadhi. We're talking about samadhi, okay? He pursued 8 different forms of samadhi. He saw all of them were wonderful experiences, but still it did not liberate him. So in this condition, he was walking as a samana. There's a certain system of practice called as samanas. Their fundamental practice is this: they will never ask for food. You should not go in pursuit of food because they want to beat the fundamental instinct of survival. No matter what, you're always going in pursuit of food, please understand this. You may complicate it in so many ways, but fundamentally, you're talking so much about economy means you're just thinking about survival all the time, isn't it? Survival glorified, but still it is survival. So one fundamental sadhana for them is, you never pursue your instinct of survival. You simply keep going. So samanas used to just walk, never asking for food. But the culture was sensitive. If they saw a spiritual person walking, people will cook at home and run behind him and serve him wherever he is, because they know he will not ask for food. Today, if you become a samana, you will walk yourself to death. Those days, people were sensitive to his sadhana and responded. So there were thousands of samanas walking the country. So Gautama became a samana. And even if you are not asking for food, you will walk near a town. So the food will come. But Gautama took it too seriously and just walked. He became all bones. Just bones and a bag of skin, like that he became. Then he came to a place where there was a river called Niranjana. Unfortunately, that river is gone now. No more river. Just about 18 to 20 inches of water, maybe moving little rapidly. He stepped into it, halfway down into the river, he did not have the energy to cross. There was a tree branch, a dead branch, he just held on to it. He doesn't have the strength to take the next step, but he's not the kind of man to let go. He held on, we don't know for how long, people say for a very long time. Maybe it was 2 minutes. When you're feeling so weak, those 2 minutes might have looked like many years. Then as he hung on, he just realized, what is it that I'm striving for? What is it I'm wandering the entire country, growing from school to school, learning this, learning that, what is it that I'm looking for? Then he realized, there's really nothing. This life is on. All I have to do is just take away the barriers which are not allowing me to experience this. When he realized that everything is within him, there's nowhere to search, suddenly he had the energy to take the next step and the next step. He crossed the river, came and sat down under that now very famous Bodhi tree, which has become more famous than the Buddha himself. A part of the tree, a remnant or a progeny of the tree still exists in Bodh Gaya. And he sat under the tree, it was this full moon night which is coming now, on 10th of May. He sat there and he sat there with this determination. Either I must see the ultimate nature of my existence now, or I will sit here and die. I will not open my eyes till I know this. Once he made that resolve, because the only problem is there is no resolve. Every 2 minutes, your intentions are changing. If you are totally on to know what is within you, how long should it take? It should happen in a moment, isn't it? Because there's no distance to travel. Time is a quantity which is necessary only when there is a distance to travel, isn't it? If there is no distance to travel, if I ask you, how long does it take for you to sit here? You're already sitting. It's already there. It doesn't take any time. So you are already alive and on. It doesn't take any time for realization because you don't have to do anything particular. When he saw this, he was fully enlightened and the moon was shining. And he had not eaten for many months on end properly. Years, actually 4 years he was a samana. And people around him, he had gathered about 5 disciples, I think. These guys thought he's real because he doesn't eat, he's really rigid. And they saw he's in some state, exuberant state, and they could see the light on his face. Then they were waiting for him to open his eyes and give the teaching. He opened his eyes, looked at them, smiled and said, "Cook something, let's eat." They were totally disappointed, they thought he's lost it. They walked with him for 4 to 8 years when he had nothing but torture. When he got enlightened, they left him because they wanted to hear something severe. He said, "Cook something, let's eat. We've been wasting our time." There are many beautiful episodes in his life. When he one day walked upon the river bank after he has become a Buddha and went and sat down under a tree. Tree, not because tree is the best place to sit under, you know, ants can get you. Because that was the only real estate of those times. There are no buildings and buildings and buildings everywhere. So tree was a good place, a pleasant place to sit under. Rather than sitting in harsh sun, you sit under a tree. An astrologer who was of great proficiency in his trade saw the footprint on the riverbank. He had come to… In India, people of any… this thing means… bath means always river. Those rivers are going away, I will tell you later. Bath means always river. So he came for a bath, the river, then he saw the footprint. There is a whole science, or rather observations, through which by looking at the way one's feet is, somebody predicts exactly what he will do. So he saw the footprint and then he saw that this is the footprint of an emperor, somebody who should rule the world. Then he wondered, why would such a person be in this remote place near a jungle? Then he followed the footprint, thinking he will meet an emperor. Then he saw this monk, Gautama, sitting under a tree. Then he looked at he thought either my astrology has gone all wrong, or I'm being fooled, or I'm in some kind of a hallucination. What's happening here? Then he went to Gautama and asked, "Who are you?" Gautama was in this kind of Jasjit kind of state. He said, "I'm nobody. I'm just a nobody. But you have the feet of an emperor. You should conquer the world." Gautama said, "That I will, but not by conquest. See, there are two ways you can have the world. either by conquest or by inclusion. Yes? I can make you yours either by capturing you, chaining you and making you do what I want, or by including you as a part of myself. Yes? Both ways, something or somebody becomes yours, isn't it? But if you go by conquest, it will be a pain in your neck, always. If you include, this will become a great enhancement of life. He said, I am the emperor of the world. But then